All right, we're talking high risk, but a lot of all right, we're talking high risk, high reward fantasy football options, starting off with James Conner, currently ranked 29th, can possibly get him in the third round, and there may be no guy on this list with more risk, yet more reward on the table. First off, it's not only important that Conner stays healthy, Conner who has had numerous injury issues over the past few seasons, but it's important that Big Ben stays healthy as well for this offense to keep ticking. But if both can stay healthy, make no mistake about it, James Conner has top 5 fantasy player written all over him. I mean, you look at D'Angelo Williams, LeGarrette Blount, James Conner, again, all guys who filled in for Le'Veon Bell, and the offense didn't miss a beat. In other words, this offense has and still has been made, first of all, to protect Big Ben, to let him stand back there in the pocket. But they're not only good at letting Big Ben stand in the pocket for an hour and a half, they're good at running or blocking for the run. And it doesn't really matter who's been back there until proven otherwise. This Pittsburgh Steelers offense is made to make running backs and outside wide receivers look like fantasy all-stars when everything's ticking, when everyone's healthy. And James Conner will be a common name in fantasy championship teams, I firmly believe, if he stays healthy all season this year. We're going to David Johnson, currently ranked 54. You don't trade away a top 3 receiver in the league and not plan on using the player you get in return. Well, you actually don't trade away a top 3 receiver in the league, period, unless you're Bill O'Brien. But continuing on, David Johnson, he brings a different dynamic to this Texans offense. A versatile running back that can, they helps through the air and on the ground. But DJ, another injury-riddled guy who couldn't figure it out last season when he was healthy, and that was a woeful sign as well there. And now going to go play on a Houston Texans team who hasn't really had a trustable fantasy running back since prime Arian Foster, and part of that is in due part to, again, not only just the running back situation, but sometimes you see, the Texans get away from committing to the run, or they go by committee, or they're just not that good at running or blocking for the running back in general. All things that will certainly raise some red flags for David Johnson, but the one-time fantasy darling is in the fifth round, has first round upside if he plays and plays to his full potential, but some scary downside, and was an area of the draft where I think you want to try to find a guy with, a good floor. You feel confident about being on your team throughout the season, but has very high upside at the same time. Who knows if David Johnson can be that guy due to the risk. Then we have Will Fuller. Make no mistake about it, Nuke is on another level, but it's really been Will Fuller that has had one of the biggest impacts on this Houston Texans team. The Texans were 8-3 with Fuller in the field last season, 2-3 without him. In 2018, they were 6-2 with him, 5-3 without him. Fuller seen 6 or more targets in 7 of the 11 games he played in last season. And more importantly, the lion's share of wide receiver targets now needs to be filled with DeAndre Hopkins walking out the door. But again, who knows what happens with this offense over here in Houston. It's a gamble. They brought in Cooks. You think bringing in Cooks, you got the double wide receiver set, so you don't have to worry about all the attention being on Fuller. It goes both ways, right? You got the less attention on Fuller, but at the same time, you can say maybe he sees less targets. I don't think that's the case. I think Cooks can be a guy that draws the attention, doesn't see as many targets. I still think Fuller has number 1 man potential in his team. But again, you're going into a season with unknowns. That brings a lot of risk in here because Hopkins is out the door, and because, more importantly, Will Fuller has not played a full 16-game season once in his entire career. The injuries to get to him every time. Can he stay healthy this season? Big question here. A lot of upside for Will Fuller this late in the draft, though, if he can. Those are our 3 guys. As always, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.